17 years ago, I cooked our recipe for pan-seared shrimp, and it was a great method.
The first thing before we start pan-searing the shrimp is that we like to take the whole peel off.
And in fact, that old recipe was developed by Mr. Keith Dresser, and he's back today to show us an updated way to do it.
Yeah, that's what I love about the test kitchen. We never stop innovating and learning. So even though I created a recipe so many years ago that was really great, we've learned more and we've actually created an even better recipe, which I'm going to show you today. I have 1.5 pounds of extra large shrimp here. That means 21 to 25 shrimp per pound. And I just have a couple more that I need to peel and devein here. Really quite a simple process. I start with taking the legs off, kind of scraping down there. And then I just take the side of my thumb and kind of hook it over the side of the shell, peel it off in one big fell swoop, and then come back, and we actually want to take the tail off here. We're not going to leave the tail on here. So.
Makes them easier to eat.
Yeah. No spitting shells out of your teeth.
But also, shell-on shrimp will have a fresher, more moist texture.
Okay, that's looking pretty clean. Now, I want to stress that we're using shrimp that aren't treated. So no salt, no other additive, just plain old shrimp here.
Right, so that means when you go to the store and you look at the back of a package in the freezer, you should only see one ingredient, and that's shrimp.
Again, pinch that, take that off. And one final step of deveining. So just take a tip of a paring knife, run it down the back. You don't want to cut too deep into here. You just kind of lay it down, hold it with a paring knife, kind of pull that right out. Okay, so this is our first improvement right here, is we're actually going to season the shrimp with some salt before we cook it. So I have a ½ teaspoon of kosher salt here. And that salt is going to work into the muscle fibers of the shrimp, help it retain moisture, and also season it. Okay, so we're just going to let that sit at least 15 minutes, up to a half an hour, let that salt do its job.
Okay.
So while that's happening, I'm going to make a spice mixture that's going to season the shrimp after we sear it. So I'm going to start with 2 teaspoons of coriander seed, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. You can use a spice grinder if you want to, but I really find with a small amount like this, it's really easy to use a mortar and pestle. Plus, we're not looking to really break it down super fine. We want it to have a little bit of coarseness to it, so it's much easier to do that in the mortar and pestle than it is a spice grinder. I'm just going to let the weight of this do its job. You really don't have to press very hard. If you have any stubborn bits, you can kind of push down on it, but you don't want to pound up and down because what you'll end up with is seeds all over the countertop.
Oh, that's very fragrant.
The coriander is going to be great, a little bit of a citrus flavor. Okay, that's good. You can hold on to that so it doesn't roll off the counter. Just going to transfer this over to a bowl. Now, I'm going to add a teaspoon of paprika, 1 minced garlic clove to this, add a teaspoon of sugar for some sweetness, ½ teaspoon of kosher salt to help season, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper flake for a little bit of heat. Just going to work this in here. Okay, so that's our spice mixture. It's been 15 minutes and that salt has penetrated into the shrimp, seasoned it, and it's going to keep it moist. But I want to get rid of any excess moisture before we sear, because we know that if there's moisture on the outside, it's not going to sear well. Put it onto a paper towel lined plate, and I just want to get the tops of these and make sure it's super dry. Okay, I think that is looking good. I'm going to transfer these over to a bowl. This is one departure from my old recipe way back when. We're going to actually add some oil to the shrimp rather than oiling the pan. And so the idea here is that if you put the oil on the shrimp, everything is really well coated, and once it gets into the skillet, you have really perfect contact. So if you ever cooked in a nonstick skillet, you know how the oil kind of spreads over the sides and you're kind of chasing it around. Here, if we put the oil on the shrimp, we get good contact right from the get-go. So I have 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and I'm also going to add just a little bit of sugar here, 1/8 of a teaspoon of sugar, and that's going to help with browning and kind of bring out the sweetness of the shrimp.
A little bit of sugar goes a long way to help the shrimp, which cook pretty quickly, get a little browning.
Now here is the other really weird thing, is I'm going to put the shrimp into a cold pan.
Wow, that's not sauteing.
No, it's not sauteing. So usually you put the shrimp into a ripping hot skillet to get it brown, and by the time you get the last shrimp in, the first one's overcooked.
It's true.
So by starting in a cold skillet, we ensure that they have really good contact right from the beginning. You get a nice even layer, so it's not going to buckle as much. It's all about ensuring good contact with the shrimp and the pan surface.
Hard to believe you can start with a cold skillet and still get a good sear, because they're so small they're going to cook through so quickly.
Yep, you're going to have to trust the process. Okay, so I'm just going to turn this on high heat And what we're looking for is that first side to get spotty brown and start to turn pink around the edges.
Okay.
So it's been about 3 minutes, and what I'm looking for is just a little bit of browning on this, and you can see it's starting to turn pink.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
That's incredible, just 3 minutes starting in a cold skillet.
I'm going to shut the heat off now, and we've gotten browning on one side, but we don't want to continue over really high heat. We're going to quickly turn these over and get the second side to cook through. All we need is a couple minutes with residual heat from the pan to finish cooking.
Those look beautiful.
Yeah, so even though the pan was quite crowded and we had a cold start, that little bit of sugar and that high heat has really turned these nicely brown. So we're just going to let the pan do its business and then come back and we'll take the shrimp out. It's been 2 minutes and you can see that the shrimp is nicely cooked. It's juicy, it's plump. We have this nice brown side, but it's not overcooked. So I'm just going to transfer this over to the platter. We want to get the shrimp out of here so they stop cooking. So remember that spice mixture we made earlier? We want to cook that out and get that warm. Remember we had a clove of garlic in there. We don't want raw garlic. We want to cook that out. So I'm just going to turn our heat back to high and add a teaspoon of vegetable oil and that spice mix that we made earlier. Take a rubber spatula and cook this. We're not going to cook this for long, just about 30 seconds. And we just want that to become fragrant and cook that garlic up. It smells good already, doesn't it?
Smells delicious.
Yeah. It's been 30 seconds and this is nice and fragrant. I'm going to shut the heat off, take this off. Now, I'm going to add the shrimp back to the pan, but I'm going to keep it off the heat. Again, we don't want any more cooking here. We just want to marry the spices to the shrimp. I'm going to add a half a cup of chopped cilantro, 1 tablespoon of lime juice.
Those are some bold flavors. I like them.
Just want to toss this together. Again, this is off heat. We're not really looking to cook the shrimp anymore. We just want to make sure that everything is well coated. Okay, I think we are ready to go back to our platter here. Scrape all this goodness out of here, right onto our shrimp. I have one last addition. I have 3 tablespoons of roasted salted peanuts.
Ooh.
A little crunchy, a little salty. That's it.
Oh, load her up.
Load her up.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
let's
For
go.
me, definitely. This is my kind of food.
Like that. I'm going to give you a lime wedge in case you want a little bit more lime on there.
Oh, peanuts, lime, and cilantro. Great combination. All right, I'm going in. Perfectly cooked and tender. You get that seared flavor, that browning, that spice mixture.
Yeah.
That's something else. Well, they're nice, fresh, interesting flavors, too.
Yeah.
It's not just the same old garlic, butter, and lemon. I mean, this has real flavor to it. Keith, I am really digging these new flavors on the shrimp. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
So if you want to make Keith's all-new fabulous seared shrimp, salt the shrimp for 15 minutes before cooking. Start the shrimp in a cold skillet and let them finish cooking off the heat. From America's Test Kitchen, a brand new recipe for pan-seared shrimp with peanuts, black pepper, and lime. Nice job.
Should last for another 15 years, right?
Here's to hoping. Thanks for watching America's Test Kitchen. What'd you think?
Well, leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or you can just say hello.
You can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
I'll see you later.